Oh, welcome back. That's off camera. Oh. I like Star Wars probably just as much as the person watching this likes Star Wars. We're going to describe about why more is less. And you're like, oh, well, what's that mean? Well, what does more is less mean? Well, it means the more you do, the worse something probably gets. Disney, when they bought Star Wars, they didn't just buy it for nostalgia's sake or because they really like George Lucas. They bought it because they want to milk the living bejesus out of it. They want to take it and wring out every bit of moisture and transform that like an alchemist would turn lead into gold. That's exactly what Star Wars is. It's just a milking cow machine, but instead of milk, it's cash dollars. Well, Chris, I don't want to come here and watch you just beat up my favorite franchise, Star Wars. Okay, I'm not here to beat this up. We're just gonna have a friendly, peaceful conversation about how Disney is messing everything up. The only thing that they're good with now is their theme parks, and that's slowly starting to fall apart too. I mean, just right out of the gate, the first concern that I have is complete oversaturation of the franchise. Disney has already made their money back and then some with Star Wars. They're pumping it into the parks. They're making the movies, they're making the shows, and it might not be such a bad idea, back in 2012 when they had this grand pathway of Star Wars, but now a lot of the things are just coming off like a cheap soap opera. You have The Mandalorian that held up well for the first 2 seasons, and people started noticing some weird issues with the second season, and then now the third season is starting to really highlight those concerns. You got Pedro who left, and then you have just the quality of the show starting to look a lot like all the other Disney shows that are coming out, like She-Hulk, and that one show with the wizards from the 80s, that lasted for just a few episodes and it's gone. Disney is like, hey, what if we just imitate and be like Netflix and we pump out so much content, one of them is bound to stick, right? That's not what Disney used to be about. They really stood their ground and made quality content for the most part, for the majority. And now it's the other way around. Throw stuff out there. One of them is going to make some good amount of money, and that's all that matters. So The Mandalorian, Solo, and The Rise of Skywalker all had really poor reception. And Disney was like, we need to take a step back and make sure that we spend some time really to make it quality and good effort next round. But that's not what ends up happening. They just take a year's break, squeeze out some more stuff in between, and then say, oh, we're releasing 3 more movies. And everyone's like, oh, yay, okay. Star Wars is a franchise in extreme danger of oversaturation. It's only gonna get worse. These 3 new movies sounds like a rinse and repeat of the last movies. They don't seem to be really paying attention to the critical feedback from the fans, which are the people who really like Star Wars anyways. This is now a Disney brand, and we don't really care what the fans think because it's just Disney. Not just oversaturation, but now we're diluting the bejesus out of it. Whereas Star Wars used to be kind of a relic of time, you'd get something every once in a while, and it was neat and it was enjoyable. Yes, when the movies came out, it was fun. Critics ripped it apart, but people still look back on it with great reception. I look back on The Rise of Skywalker, can't get through it. I can't watch any of it. And I'm not hating on the characters, I'm hating on the plot line. We'll save that for another time. The more that Star Wars gets released, the more that the original suffers from. It just is gonna get buried. When there's 100 more Star Wars movies, no one's gonna even think of the original anymore. It's completely lost all of its sense of joy. The movies are becoming repetitive, they're becoming formulaic, and they're representing an extreme attempt at trying to reflect modern political situations, which just doesn't play well in Star Wars that's supposed to be in a galaxy far, far away, not a galaxy next door that really captured a fictional scenario that made you feel like you were being removed from our reality and put in their reality and had a few hours of I don't have to deal with the real world bullshit. And quite frankly, it is marred with lack of creativity, and it's going to continue. Give me an example why, in the comments below, why you think that this show is somehow creative or they've done anything original outside of, oh, look, we have a new color of lightsaber. Isn't that cool? I have an orange one. Oh, I have a white one. They did that in the comic books, right? Who cares? 3 more movies and they're going to have a rainbow lightsaber. When they run out of those colors, they are at risk of disappointing fans. There's already a huge chunk of fans disappointed every time that a new movie comes out. At least when George Lucas released new movies, people were like, well, the last one was okay, but this next one I have great hope for us. And now, when Disney releases a Star Wars movie, it's I know that I can't get drunk enough and suspend myself from disbelief just so I can get through it. I'm having PTSDs from the flashbacks of the previous movies. I can't get over the fact that they ended the movie with people running with horses on a spaceship. It's not even so much of a triumph that they won that battle. It's more of a problem of how dysfunctional whatever the Empire remains are. And Sidious just somehow is so caught up with his own butthole that he's like, I have planned everything to be lost. I can't get into a feel-good movie when you set up everything like magical dominoes where all they have to do is just sit there. The characters in the movie take less effort than the people that actually have to go and drive in and see the movie. When Rey found that artifact underground because she just stumbled across it, I'm still raging about that. That's put a little bit more writing effort into finding something so impossible. You know what it's like to find your keys after searching your house for 30 minutes? You sure as crap don't run downstairs and just fall into a pit and magically find your keys. No, you suffer for hours and then you finally find it and it just was where you thought it wasn't going to be. Me looking for my keys in my house is more intense and dramatic than when Rey found the artifact underground. Just period. When they thought they lost Chewbacca for the who knows how many times, and then immediately cut to the next scene where they revealed to the audience that he wasn't lost. Like, what was the point of that? Do you think people are going to walk out of your movie because they thought Chewbacca died? Anyways, Disney's in a situation where they're automatically going to disappoint fans of every kind no matter what decision they make. Well, actually, no, that's not true. If they made better decisions, they would disappoint less fans. But they think that if they just logistically throw all these different elements at it, they're somehow just going to magically create, oh, we have these robots that can flip backwards and sideways and do all this cool stuff. So, of course, the next Star Wars is going to be great. And I guarantee you in the movie, every time they plan a scene, they're sitting there thinking about how they can implement that scene into their parks, how they can make more money from it. George Lucas never sat down and said, I need to make this part of Star Wars because I want to make more money. And that's what Disney is doing. And that is the fundamental difference between Lucas and Disney. Just one wants more money and the other one had a passion. Disney has no passion. And everyone who had a passion in Disney left the company or is dead. So tell me what you think the new movies are going to be like in the comments below. I'm sure you've all heard about the 3 new movies coming out in the trilogy. Oh, so excited. I'm going to watch it, but I feel so done with Star Wars. And I feel done. Star Wars was my favorite thing about Disney, so now I don't want to watch anything Disney. Sure as crap not going to watch the new Little Mermaid. Oh, geez. Maybe we'll tap into this another time. Until next time, everybody, stay tuned and we will be back for more. Tell me in the comments below what you want. If you made it this far, you are freaking amazing for listening to me rant and ramble. So please click a like, click that subscribe. And as I always say, cheers and good night.